It's your boy A to the K to the K, Alexander King Kwame. Welcome to Hoodie Studios. And if you wanna do this, you wanna give your BP mannequin a cloth to wear, and it's actually simulating in Unreal Engine in real time. Check this. Check this. Let me do it. Come on. Then you gotta stick with me till the end of the tutorial. I'm gonna show you how to do the chaos cloth for your game characters. All right. Before we start, we need a cloth asset, and to get a cloth asset you can just choose any software you are comfortable with: Marvelous Designer or Cloth 3D or Style 3D, or you can even model in ZBrush how you want it. But we are gonna use Marvelous Designer, and this is not gonna be a tutorial where I will go about creating cloth assets so from scratch. So I have the cloth in here already, and this cloth will be in the Patreon. You can download this cloth in the Patreon. So, and this is the BP, the mannequin in Unreal Engine. So this is the workflow. So we first need two assets of this same cloth. So I will recommend that before you start, after you are done with your cloth, you have to go to the UVs and make sure you have your UVs all set up. Okay, so when you have your UVs, then we will have to select. For the first one, we need a render and we need a static mesh. So for a render mesh, we need everything to be in here, including the internal lines. So you can see these are internal lines. Yeah, so for the render mesh we need those internal lines, and I will select all of them, and I'll go to File, and I'll say export, and I'll say FBX. Now I already have it, but I want to show you something before I move on. So this is the render mesh. So let me say I will click on the render mesh again, and you know what, I will just say render mesh 1. I'll just say save, but I will not actually import it. I just want to show you something. So here we need to pay attention here. For the select an avatar, I will just deselect it, and for the render mesh we need to go for thick. Okay, so go for thick, and your diffuse map, your normal map, and yeah, you just click OK. All right, so I will cancel it. Now after we have the render mesh, we have to get a static mesh. Now for this static mesh, you will have to eliminate every you have to eliminate every internal line here. So we will have to delete it, and make sure you check if you have internal lines in any of your clothes, any part of your clothes. So I will select all of them again, and I will go to File, Export, FBX, and you see I have simulation mesh. So I will just name this 1. I'll just click save. So for the simulation mesh, we just need to deselect the select an avatar, and everything is all okay. So unified UV coordinates, diffuse map, normal map, and you just click OK to export it. So before we jump into Unreal, I just want to let you know something. For the simulation mesh and for the render mesh, you will have to control your particle distance. So for my simulation mesh, the particle distance was around 18, and for the render mesh the particle distance was around 12. So there are differences here. Okay, so let's just jump into Unreal Engine. Okay, so in Unreal, we will drop our render mesh and our simulation mesh. So you just see I have a render folder and I have a simulation folder. So when I dive in, this is the render mesh. So you just drag and drop it into your folder, and we have this simulation mesh in here. Now you have to go to add to and go to add feature and content pack to add the third person, so you will get your mannequin. And also you have to go to the plugins and you search for cloth, and you will have to choose the chaos cloth asset and the chaos cloth asset editor. You have to, after that you will have to restart your Unreal Engine. So let's get to the best part. So I will create a new folder and I will call it chaos, and I will just right click and I will go to physics and I'll say cloth asset. So I'll just leave it like that and I'll try and save, and I will double click and you'll have this right here, and I will say create new data flow. So I'll click that and I'll save. So we will have this panel here. So each time you want to open the panel, let me close it and show you. You will have to double click and you will have the panel in here, right? So we are about to play with the graph in here. It's nothing crazy, it's just some 4 or 5 or 6 nodes that we are gonna just place in there. Okay, so we are gonna need our first 2 nodes, which will be the static mesh import. So I'll drop 2 of them. Static mesh import. Okay, so this one will be the simulation mesh. So I will disable this. I will disable the import render mesh. So I'm going in for the simulation mesh, and I will have, yeah, this is the simulation mesh. I will click on it and I'll bring it in here. So this is the simulation mesh and this is the render mesh. So I will actually disable this simulation mesh here, and I will go in for the render mesh. Okay, so we will have to merge those 2 nodes. So I will bring in a merge cloth collection. Yeah, and I'll right click and I'll say add option pin. So this one will go in here and this one will go in here. Okay, so all of a sudden we have our UVs in here. Okay, so let me save and let's move on. So after this we will need a transfer skin weight. So yeah, transfer skin weight. Okay, and at the end of your graph you will have to go in for the cloth asset terminal. That should be your last node on the graph. Yeah, this got to be your last node on the graph. So I will drag it in here. Okay, so the skin, we have skeletal mesh on the transfer skin weight. Our skeletal mesh, now our skeletal mesh is skm underscore queen. You remember, this is him. This is what we use for our clothes in Unreal Engine. I'm sorry, in Marvelous Designer. So that's what we are looking for, and I'm going for skm underscore queen, and all of a sudden we have it here. And I will leave everything here as default. I will not change anything. So we will need to add another node. Yeah, we will need to add simulation default configuration, and that will go into here. So actually this node is gonna be the node where you will have to control your simulation, your density. So when you hover around, you're gonna see light leather cotton silk, the density that you are gonna use for it. Okay, so we will need some weight painting. So I will select this node. I will drag this out and I'll say add weight map. So literally this weight map will actually connect to this node here, and when we click on it, let me show, we actually have our 3D cloth here. Okay, so we will have to paint on our cloth. So I will paint I'll paint on it white. So just like that. Okay, so after painting white on it, what I need is I need to let me go to the 3D so you can see what I mean. I need to get a place where I will stick my cloth on our mannequin. So I actually want it around this part, just this small part here, and I can actually go to so it got to be black. That part got to be black, and around the neck got to be black. So I will go back to the 2D and I will zoom in here, and I will reduce our brush size, something like this, and for the attribute values I'll set it to 0. So I will actually paint this side, yeah, and I will paint this side too. Okay, and I will paint this side and this. So let me get into the 3D so you see what I actually did. Okay, so you can see, yeah, just like that. Okay, so I will actually try and change the value to 1, and I'll try and paint right here. So here, and I'll just say accept. All right, so we just need some field notes to make things running. So we will need collision. We need some collision. So I will drag this one and I'll say simulation yeah, simulation collision configuration. So we have this in here, and I will leave everything to the default. Okay, and I will drop another node. I will drop a set and physics asset. So we will need a physics asset in here, and I'm gonna choose this PA mannequin. So all we have to do is connect the last node into our cloth asset terminal. So literally this is all the nodes. Let me count them: 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9. Okay, actually 9 nodes. Okay, so how do we know things are working? So you have to be at the preview, not at the details, because actually when you start you'll be at the details panel. Okay, so you will have to be at the preview. So at the preview, your skeletal mesh asset will be your SK mannequin. So drop that in, and your animation asset, you can just choose any. Actually, let me try and. Okay, we are actually simulating. Okay, let me see. Yeah. So to make sure everything is cool for us, I can just go for animation asset, and I will just go in for an animation. Okay. Yeah, not bad. All right, so yeah, and you can actually go to the simulation configuration, and you can come down to let me check iteration count, and I would say maybe 4, and for the subdivision count I would do maybe 3. Okay, so let me just play it and see. Not much going on, and I will make this a cotton preset, and the cotton is 0.2. So 0.2. Okay, yeah, working cool. And since we are done, I will save, and I'll go back to our cloth, and I will click on our BP mannequin, and I will say add, and I will say cloth. So chaos cloth component, and we will go in for the cloth asset. Yeah, 006. Okay, here we have it. And you can actually go here and you can say use animation asset, and use animation asset, and you can place in an animation and it will be playing right in here. So actually what I want to do is to play this guy around, and I can just hit play, and you can see here is our guy. Yeah, our other twin. But we actually want this guy who is running around to have the cloth. Okay, so what we are gonna do is you will have to go to your third person under blueprint, and you will double click, and you go to viewport, and under the mesh you will have to add, and you say cloth, which will give you the chaos cloth component. and under the cloth asset you just select this and it fits properly. So you have no problem. I'll just say compile, I'll just save, and let's play. Whoa, so there we have it. How amazing is this? This is amazing, man. This is crazy. Okay, okay, okay. Don't forget to subscribe, don't forget to like, don't forget to share, and don't forget to comment. Stay peace, stay blessed. I love you. Take care.